close enough. All right, we'll now go ahead and open the regular meeting of the Clinton Hospital Authority. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and open up the meeting. Call to order. I'm sorry about that. Opening prayer with Gary Jones from New Hope Fellowship. Mr. Jones.
Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Thank you, Lord God, for the moisture, rain, snow that we got, Lord. I thank you, God, for all of your many blessings upon us, God. And we ask that you would send wisdom, God, to the hearts and minds of our council members, Lord. I pray, God, that you give them direction, God, concerning the affairs of our city. And God, lead them and guide them, Lord. We just give you all the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. If I can turn it around here. Let's join in the pledge of allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First off, I'd like to say welcome to Mr. Lucas Martinez, his first full meeting. So now go ahead and open up the regular meeting of the Clinton Hospital Authority, Recreational Authority, Solid Waste Authority, Public Works Authority, and Airport Authority. Now consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Human?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action items, we don't have any here this evening. Trustees report, comments, or comments from council? Seeing none, we'll move on. City manager's report, Mr. Hughes.
Council, I'll just leave all my remarks, city council report.
Easy enough. Audience participation, we haven't given you much to work on. All right. Consider a motion to adjourn this, the hospital, recreational, solid waste, public works, and airport authorities.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Human?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Now on to the industrial authority. Consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Human?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action items. Action item A, consider approval of the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Action item A, consider acceptance of the quitclaim deed from TSA Trucking Company. Steve.
Council, both these A and B are regarding a utility easement that we need on this property. It was brought to my attention, and it wasn't picked up on the survey, and it wouldn't be picked up because it's our line. There's a water line that runs on the east side of the cemetery that was in this, basically would put it in the deed of the TAS Trucking. So to create it, and also a phone line. So to create a 20-foot easement, and it'll be good for our design that Joe's working on, working with TAS Trucking. Basically, we're asking to, they're going to give this deed back to us. We're going to move over the 5 acres, 20 feet to create the easement between the cemetery and their property. Still give us adequate room as we develop this property. And then and B would be to accept that new deed with the new new description.
Sounds good. Comments from council? Consider a motion to accept this deed.
I make a motion to accept the TAS Trucking. Second.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Human?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action item B, consider issuance of quitclaim deed to TAS Trucking Company.
That's the new.
Thanks.
That's the new deed, okay.
I'm going to make a motion that we quitclaim, get the quitclaim deed to TAS Trucking.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Human?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez? And Chairman?
Yes. I can't say if you can or not.
You can vote.
Yes, okay. Action item C.
The city attorney won't let you say.
Yeah, no,
I don't like you saying.
okay, that's fine.
But you can vote.
We'll stay safe. Play it safe. Action item C, consider change order to Fowler Excavation and Dozier Service for Robinson Housing Addition. Mr. Hughes.
Council, we are trying to be good neighbors and working with ONG. They have a high-pressure gas line, and they asked if we would work with them on offering a little bit more space away from that gas line that sits in the south part of this property. We believe that's a good idea, so does our engineer, and we were going to slightly change the plat a little bit to accommodate that, but we also then had to slightly change some dirt work, working with Fowler, and I think for the best scenario, this is safer probably for the future, and best for the plat. So with recommendations from engineer and from staff, we want to be a good neighbor to ONG and make the change, and this would create a change order for a Fowler of $11,200.80.
Safety concern.
Yes, I think it's best for everybody involved, and we agree with ONG, so we're going to work with them on that.
What was the total number of lots, Steve?
Well, we have 42, and we're gonna reduce that plat to 41, and I'm gonna bring that back to you, I hope, next meeting for approval. Joe's working on that right now. He's gonna have to make a slight adjustment to the farther south plats, because it'll reduce it in a little bit in width. So we'll have to probably take 3 and move it to 2, so we'll actually lose 1 lot. So, but that design I don't have yet, but he's working on that. But it does change the dirt work, and that's why you've seen the change order with the David Fowler.
How far along are we on the dirt work?
We are just about ready to wrap it up. The snow slowed us down a little bit the last couple of snows, but I talked to David actually late last week, and by the end of this week, probably 99% completed.
Okay.
Well, I think it's a good plan that we work with Oklahoma Natural and leave a little bit more leeway. So I would make the motion that we authorize this change.
Second.
Trustee Rotolo?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action item D, request authorization to go to bid on utilities for Robinson Housing Addition. Steve.
Council, Joe's nearly ready to release those bids for utilities. Waiting on a couple items on the lift station. Like to get that going so we can get with Lisa to advertise that. So hopefully by your meeting in April, you can open the bids and we can continue on with the utilities so this project moves. I'll also let you know that we've already been approached by a builder who'd like to build right now. And I think as soon as we can get this process going, we'll bring back quickly something for you to discuss and consider the sale of those lots as well as the pricing, and because they feel that they can begin building a couple homes while the final construction of the utilities and roads going. So I think this could be a good fit, but first we need to get this authorization going, get Joe, get those bids out and keep things moving.
I assume these are all underground, Joe?
Yes, we have, basically we will have a sewer line, we'll have a lift station, force main, and a water line. And I'll tell you that right now the estimate is around $225,000 for everything at this point, is early estimates.
When they start buying lots, are there specific lots that they will want to buy, like this is a premium lot?
Yes, and that's what the council will need to discuss in coming meetings, because this particular couple, builder, have already picked out a specific lot, not one of the first ones, it's back in the cul-de-sac. So they want that specific lot, the way it meets the sun and everything else, the builder can tell them. So, but you need to decide if you want every lot to be the same price, or do you want to charge a little bit more for a premium lot? Are there premium lots? And those are things I want to bring back to you. I'm planning on hopefully bringing it back in 2 weeks, and at least get some feedback from you on some thoughts on pricing and how to break that down, because we need to begin the authorization of starting to sell those lots, or make the agreements for builders to begin building spec homes in the event that then buyers will come and buy them and set that all up. So I want to work with Ryan and you on how we set that whole plan up, and it's about time.
Great. Consider motion to go ahead and authorize Mr. Hewitt to bid the utilities in Robinson Housing Edition.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Hewland,
Yes.
trustee Marcy.
Yes.
Trustee Martinez,
Yes.
trustee Randolph,
Yes.
and chairman.
Yes. Number 5, trustee reports, comments from council. Seeing none. City manager's report.
Just wait to the council. End of all the other-
Okay, so, audience participation. Not a full crowd tonight. Okay, seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn the regular meeting of the Clinton Industrial Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Hewland,
Yes.
trustee Marcy.
Yes.
Trustee Randolph,
Yes.
trustee Martinez,
Yes.
and chairman.
Yes. Regular meeting of the city council. Okay, so, Lucas, you know, so now we're gonna go ahead and consider a motion to approve the consent agenda, and Steve, you wanna go ahead and explain?
Yeah, I think Lucas, I talked to Lucas, and we have a claim on here that the city has, was Lucas. He did some work for us prior to becoming a city council member. I want to make that clarification. And so I've talked to him, he's going to, I think he's going to step away from it. Yeah, and during the consent agenda.
I noticed that.
What if we don't pay it?
We'll figure something out.
Consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman Marcy,
Yes.
Councilman Hewland,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. All right, that was it. Go back. Go back. Action items, action item A, presentation by GLMV regarding the feasibility report for Acme Brick Farm.
Council, I'd like to introduce Jeff Wyford with GLMV. As you know, Jeff, you met Jeff before. He's our architect and designer of our excellent looking fire stations going up. It's looking great. You know, we have a lot of issues at Acme. Acme's a great facility, meets a lot of needs, has a lot of gaps and a lot of problems. And, you know, before we dove into what we need to do there, I wanted a true feasibility study so we could study the programs, the future, the options, the infrastructure, the facility itself. And, you know, he's done a nice report. I wanted to walk you through it. And this is for discussion. No action tonight, but I guess take it all in and we'll just see where we go from there. Jeff?
Thanks, Steve. Mayor, council members, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I think the fire station is looking good. I'll start with there. We had a regular progress meeting today with the contractor and the city. Things are going along well. It's looking good, and we're liking the progress and look forward to seeing it complete. As Steve indicated, our office was asked to look at the Acme Brick Park and put together a needs assessment study of this facility. Our task was to meet with the rec center staff, hear their concerns, listen to what some of the limitations they see are in that facility. And it is a very nice facility for this community. It's certainly something that can be expanded on to increase the programs, and it looks to be a well-used facility. But what we wanted to find out was listen to what their limitations were that they thought, and identify what programs and goals that they have that they would like to see in the future. We had an opportunity to walk around the facility, analyze, the existing structure. Really, the facility, in our minds, is comprised of 4 parts. The entrance area, administration area is one part. The second part is the shed structure over a majority of the facility. Then we have the building within the building. That's where the racquetball courts are and locker rooms. And then we have the existing brick structure of what was the plant. Of the 4 parts of those facilities, the shed structure is, in our determination, the largest liability and limiting factor for the growth of your programs at this facility. The structure is not capable of supporting year-round activities due to lack of climate control in this facility. It's got low ceiling height, so you can't run a full basketball game, or volleyball game. It's got columns inside the structure. It's got leaks right now. It's basically a glorified windscreen is what it is right now. However, the building, within the building where the racquetball courts are and locker rooms and such, that's a very functional part of the building that is something that we see as very easily capable of keeping that and reusing that structure. Reusing that structure and also expanding it. There are some limitations. The staff feels like there needs to be an increase in the weight area. You know, there's the weight room with machine weights, and then there really needs to be an expansion of that for free weights and other things like that. So we're looking at expanding that area. Same thing with the aerobics area with the treadmills and the bikes. We see an expansion needed in that for different type of aerobics classes. Could be yoga, things of that nature. And finally, within that building, we see a need to increase child care, your after-school programs. And what we see important in that is providing a dedicated classroom meeting space, gathering space, I should say, for the after-school activities. That would have its own dedicated restroom facility and would allow the children to start as a home base within that facility and then work their way out into the larger facility. What we're recommending is a new pre-engineered metal building, very economical, that would take the place of the existing shed structure right now. So take down the existing shed structure, leave your current building within the building, but put a new insulated pre-engineered metal building over that and expanding it. So one, it would be column free. We would have the additional height needed to run full basketball games, volleyball games. It would be insulated. It would be well lit. What we're showing on this floor plan on the screen is 2 full basketball courts. You could run one lengthways with some additional goals. We're showing some bleachers that are possible. We're also showing an indoor tennis court in there, and also a reuse of the batting cage. So all that would be within a new structure that is slightly larger, longer, and wider than your current shed structure right now. It would be, it's approximately about 6,800 square feet larger than your current shed structure right now. We can envision screens between the 2 basketball courts so that you could run multiple games at the same time. One could be volleyball, one could be basketball, they both could be basketball. Very, very multi-purpose. The floor inside the facility would be a padded polyurethane type floor, sport court type floor, so you could run multiple activities. It could be used as a walking track around the basketball facility. Inside the tennis area, we could see that as being a traditional hard court acrylic over shock absorption layer on top of concrete. This structure here really would bring, first of all, it would become code compliant. It would have all the right exiting. It would be something that the after-school activities could all blend into. It has opportunities to have tournaments. You could bring families, teams from outside the community in here to run basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments. Really, it could become a big draw for the city.
It's going to be heated and cooled?
It would be heated and cooled, yes. Yes. And right now, we looked at whether or not you could take the existing shed structure and manipulate it in such a fashion that you could use the existing structure. But given the nature of the structure right now, and given the profile of the roof, it really is not a good candidate to try to modify and reuse. It's not a, yes, your question?
Was the existing pipe structure, this shed structure, was that part of the original complex? Or was that something that was built in addition when Acme Brick Park was
The
construction?
Original brick plant back, I think dates back in the 40s.
So it was just retrofitted,
It's just
modified?
like this old,
It's oil field piping
Yeah.
is what it is. And that's.
it's not engineered at all.
It's not engineered. Our structural engineer, you know, really said you wouldn't want to add anything to it because there's really no basis for an analysis on that structure itself.
What do you think, this metal bed, what would it cost per square foot?
Right now, we're
Sorry,
showing,
figures, I'm just asking on this building.
yeah, with the site work that we're showing, it ends up being roughly about $110 a square foot.
$110 a square foot.
What we are, this would be about 41,000 square foot metal building. We would, because of the additional programs that you could have in here, families, the increased occupant load, we're also including additional increase in the number of restrooms available. We're showing new men's and women's restroom for an increased occupant load. Again, reusing your existing locker rooms, reusing two of the existing racquetball courts, turning one into a yoga Pilates, another one would be this new expansion of the restrooms and the corridor space that gets you out into the basketball area. I would ask for any questions that you might have. Yes.
The old facility that's out there now, the only thing that I participated in, because I'm older, was I used to walk around the whole thing, you know?
Yes.
And I see you just got a smaller area. What do you have for the older folks? Because most of us are just gonna walk.
You know, what we see right now would be a walking lanes around the basketball facility on flooring that would be a lot easier on the joints. We did look at numerous plans when we put this together, and several of those plans included a walking track similar to what's out there right now.
Okay.
The problem is that it just adds so much additional square footage to the facility. So we were in the neighborhood of, 55,000 square feet in order to keep that walking surface. And it just didn't seem feasible for what we were looking at here today.
Well, I was talking to Jeff about a facility that I recently saw, some of the facilities, and it's very common to put a double lane walking track around two courts like that, which makes it about half the length you have right now. So, if you're talking about how far you walk right now around the whole lap, it'd be about half that, but still offer the walking opportunities that so many people do throughout the day. That would definitely have to be something you have to have in the plan, because so many people do walk.
Yeah, I think the walking's important. Whether this, how much walking space would we have with the new, about half what it is now?
Yes.
But heated.
It would be
Heated and cooled.
Yes, heated and cooled.
And on a rubber surface.
How much would we have to shut down Agnew right now to go for the construction?
I think it can be phased in such a manner that you could really allow for the existing building within the building to remain operational for a good portion of the construction. I think it could be worked in such a manner that, given the time of the year that the work is going to be done, would have a big impact on that as well. I could see, taking down the old structure more likely in the summer months, and then erecting the new frame, around that same time period. The existing building within the building, is not, it doesn't have a permanent roof on it right now, so we wouldn't want it to be outdoors in the elements for a long period of time. So I think it could be constructed in such a fashion to limit that amount of exposure and still get people using the facility as best as possible.
Jeff, this is the best case scenario. Do we have any other alternatives, options, ideas with this layout and design? Were there any other alternatives or
We looked
possibilities?
we looked at a lot of possibilities, and we kept coming back to this one, but we looked at opportunities to take the existing brick structure and reconfigure that. That could become a new front door to the facility. We can envision that structure becoming a future rock climbing wall inside. But we were looking at new construction occurring to the south and to the east of the existing structure. We were planning on, our original schemes were to do new construction to the south and to the east, and reusing the existing structure for purposes that would be more like a skate park inside, or some other functions that really didn't have to be in a climate-controlled structure. Something that didn't really mind if it got rained on due to the leaks and things like that. But really, that would be a whole lot more expensive than what we're talking about here. Okay. So we come back to this scenario of reusing a good portion of what you have right now.
Jeff, you want to talk about all the issues that we currently are facing, that you see out there, that why not leaving that facility the way it is in the best advantage to us?
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, this shed structure is more like a windscreen than anything. It has multiple valleys in it, and it's an uninsulated structure. It's barn siding and barn-type metal roof. The interior gutter system that they have right now is just by nature of the design prone to leak. And you're going to be, the city would be spending money for a design that's just naturally going to fail. My original thought was we try to put a re-roof structure over that to get rid of the valleys, but you just can't do that on the structure. It's the oil field piping structure. We wouldn't feel secure about adding anything onto this structure. You have problems right now in the wintertime with pipes freezing, with problems with the infiltration. The fact that the inside of this facility never sees the light of day means that it's almost colder inside than it is outside on certain days, and it's hotter in the summertime than it is outside. So it's just not a very practical structure to reuse. Plus, the low ceiling height, the columns in it, we can't put a basketball court inside this existing structure and play a game, given the column locations. You can play half court like they do right now, but what an opportunity the city has to try to bring basketball tournaments in on the weekends and bring in basketball games that are held in various parts of the city, bringing them to one central location. I think that just adds a lot of excitement to the facility, and I think you'd see a great increase in the amount of participation inside the rec center. And I think you'd see membership go up. Right now, what we're talking about for the dollar figure that we're talking about, we're not going to address the existing brick part. We think that's a future project, but that could become an ideal rock climbing inside with all the different features. It's a cool structure on the inside. It's got a lot of potential, and we see that as the next phase of this project.
So we have the building within a building right now that we use at Acme, and that's where people exercise. Does that structure itself suffer from the inadequacies of the surrounding structure?
They get, the leaks that come in from the structure make their way into the building within the building.
And we deal with the elements that is indoor, how do I say this? It was based on the fact that our HVAC system is supposed to be indoor when it's actually outdoor elements. So we see freezing in drains, in water lines and different things, which we've tried to coat, stop, and we've constantly been, we've been spending a lot of money out there, $25,000, $10,000, $5,000, constantly trying. We have to do something. And I've asked Jeff to come up with the most inexpensive plan that also, there's some surveys on your plate that the staff can informally ask some of the people out there that we hand them out. And also got kids at high school and just, give us some ideas what they're wanting to see. We are limited what we can do now. We'd like to see expand. We know it's expensive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It is expensive. I think and by no means are we asking today to say, let's figure out a $1.8 million project. We're asking today, do you understand the needs and see the concept and continue the discussion? But we have some needs out there.
I got another question. Do the needs come from, can you tell us how you got the needs, how you reached, this is what we need? Did it come from people, or did you look at the facility and just, come up with a design?
It came from interviewing the staff and talking about what people are looking for. I can say a specific example is the need for a heavy free weights dedicated area. There's the folks that work on the machines, but then there's the folks that do the heavier free weights, and there really is a strong desire to get better separation for that. That's one example. The next example is the aerobics. Right now, you've got a room that you've got treadmills and bikes and things like that, but you really don't have an area dedicated for the Zumbas and the yogas and those type of things.
Would you be using this dance studio class for some of that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I see dance classes or Zumba classes going on in the racquetball courts now, and I know that it makes those people mad.
Yeah.
When you stand there and look down at the racquetball, like it's a racquetball court, but you stand there and look through the glass, it's like you're at the zoo.
Yeah.
That makes them mad.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a dedicated?
I would have said ballet, but.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have a regular dance bar and some mirrors on the walls and things that really add to the atmosphere?
I would be self-conscious if I was exercising down there.
Well, one of the things you need to understand is our growth is growing. And you go in there, you can't get a machine at 5 in the morning, you can't get a machine at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Really?
And there's a demand for more machines and more treadmills. Like you said, the separation of freeways versus machines versus, and the space, because, if you're an individual doesn't, you're right up along each other, there's some awkwardness to that. There's a lot of those issues. I mean, that's a good thing. What we designed 10 years ago is really seeing it used. But with everything, you got to evolve. I think that's why we're talking. That's why I thought feasibility study would be important to look at the needs and assess those needs and think about what we may need to do in the future.
And that large open space where that shed structure is, it's just not usable during the winter time. And I was not in it during the summertime, but I can imagine what it is in the summertime.
Well, I'm biased, and I'll tell you that up front. I got a 7-year-old boy, and we want to go shoot hoops when it's snowing outside. We can't go out there. It's colder in there than it is outside. So, in the summertime, we want to go shoot hoops. It's too hot in there, so we're better off playing. So there's more usage that wants to go on out there. More people want to use it if we can just figure out a way to. I know it's all about money, but we just need to talk about it, and that's why. But I am biased, and I know that, and I'm recreation is my background originally, but I think the entire community, we always tell it, it's a gym. I'll tell you a story. A gentleman came to my office this week, and we're talking about, he's from Oak City, he works with the city of Oak City, and I won't mention his name to embarrass him or get him in trouble, but he goes, we want an Acme. And we're trying to figure out, there's a group getting together, we want an Acme like you got, it's great. And they know it has some needs, but everybody loves the fact that we've got an Acme, and whether it has a Y. I mean, those are things that communities, I think, demand and kids want to do. But from 1 to 100, people can use it. That's what's so neat about it.
Well, in today's age, people want a nice place. But I don't go out there and think the shed part is nice at all, you know?
Yeah.
It's horrible. So we need, if we're going to people to use it, it needs to be upgraded and it needs to be, I always say if you're going to build it state of the art. If it costs a few bucks more, well, I think.
So when you talk about these multi-purpose, like the basketball court, the floors are multi-purpose, so you can use, could you practice indoor soccer there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm from Wichita, and we've got a pretty nice Y complex in Wichita, and during the winter months, they play futsal, which is, indoor soccer on a basketball court, so that's just one opportunity.
I've seen Lucas practicing soccer in the shed, it was 20 degrees outside.
It's cold in there, but.
There's water on the floor.
Steve, barring the after-school activities, excluding that, approximately how many people utilize the facility on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day,
I'd say roughly about 200 to 300, and that's just the indoor building inside of the building. Just come in there and lift weights or cardio.
200 to 300 a day?
Yeah,
On the building within a building.
building within a building.
Chris, just tell the council, what the feedback you're getting regarding the amount of machines, the timing, how people use it, the crowds, what do you get for feedback?
Well, like on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, most workouts consist of 3 days a week working out. And 5 o'clock in the morning when we open up, sometimes we have to open up a little early just to accommodate the crowd.
When
And
you say a crowd, how many people are you talking about?
we're talking, I'd say probably around 50 people, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning. And you can't get a piece of cardio equipment at all. And it starts to thin out around 8, but then that's when work starts. So we can't accommodate. And now with purchasing with this budget, I had $10,000 to buy some new weight equipment. I bought 2 workout machines, with weightlifting machines, and a bench, 2 benches. That's all I bought. And as soon as I did that, people were, hey, when do we get some more? That'd be great if I could get some more, but where am I going to put it? I've run out of space in
Well,
both.
this isn't going to add any space for that, is it?
No, on this picture it shows adding to the cardio side where the treadmill.
You're going to add the heavy lifting part.
Yeah, add the heavy lifting part, and then we're going to also add an additional cardio space. Because right now our weightlifting room is got free weights and machines, and females don't like going in there with big lifters. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
So if we're able to separate that, I think we would see a lot more traffic throughout the week.
How about lunch hour? Do you get much in the lunch hour?
Not during lunch hours, mostly from 5 in the morning and right after work.
Steve, how many members do we have?
650?
Roughly around 650.
Is that the most we've ever had?
Yes, yes it is.
What do people do if they can't get a machine in the morning?
They'll leave.
Okay.
They will, I've seen people come in there, walk into the cardio room, turn around and walk out. And people try to adjust their schedules to meet how our schedule runs out there, and they're wanting to work out more, but we can't accommodate because the machines are all taken.
Is this building any way where, in 5 years, 10 years, if it grows like it has, can you expand the building?
Absolutely,
You can,
absolutely. The building can be designed such that it can have an expandable end.
and you will do it that way?
Yes.
That can be important.
And Chris, would this help your organized youth sports?
Tremendously, because right now we have to organize our schedules, our leagues around the Clinton Public Schools and gym availability. Now, if we didn't have to do that, we've got 2 basketball courts, we can run volleyball, basketball, as he said, futsal, indoor soccer, tennis. I mean, the sky's the limit on programming, and we don't have to go anywhere, ask anybody to limit their gym availability with the schools.
What kind of from the time this was approved, turnkey job was done, what kind of, 2 years, a year? What do you think?
Chris and I were talking about that a little bit earlier. I can see the design and engineering taking 4 to 6 months from when we get the get-go, or from whoever gets the get-go. And then envision about 10 months of construction. So given that time frame, it could be, it could be September of 2014 if someone were to start today.
And I didn't understand what you said about, I forgot the question. Go ahead.
Well, council, by no means are we asking for approval for all that money. Now, we want you to digest this, think about it, consider it. I think more discussion is probably needed with the community, feedback, get it out there, and we'll make this available on all our media outlets for them to look at, consider, get feedback, and then maybe continue discussion as we go forward. Me and Deborah haven't dove into much of the amounts. I mean, we, unsure where the money was, how much it was going to be, and to do what we want to do here. Hopefully, we haven't dove into that yet. So,
What the feasibility study cost?
25,000? No,
Maybe less than that.
yeah, I can't remember exactly. Around 25. Around 25.
Okay,
Thank you for the opportunity.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, good job.
What to think about. Okay, now on the council reports, comments from council. Oh, I'm sorry, wait a second, back up. Oh, never mind. Okay, action items. Letter B, consider interlocal agreement between the City of Clinton and Custer County regarding state and local authorities' emergency management performance grants.
Council, I'm going to ask you to table this. We want to work together with the county on some FEMA emergency management grants. They have some questions on the interlocal agreement, and they're going to get those in writing to us to review, and then when we see those, we'll get back with you. So I apologize. We're hoping we can get it through tonight, but we've got to clarify some things that they have questions on.
All right, action item C, consider nomination for trustee for the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group Board.
I think last year, when we did this, we nominated Steve, apparently
I didn't win.
He did do it good, but I want to do the same thing again this year. There's 2 spots. So I'd recommend, or I make the motion, we nominate John Shepherd of Walters and Steve Hewitt of Clinton.
I can second that nomination, those nominations.
We don't need anybody from each Bartonville on there.
No.
He did one anyway.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Hewland?
Yes.
Councilman Marcy?
Yes.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
And Mayor.
Yes.
Didn't we did that last year?
Yeah, I didn't win.
Did you campaign?
I always, I campaign hard. I hit the road, and I'm saying, no luck.
Every weekend.
I need to learn something from you, I think, so.
Yeah, okay, go on then. Action item D, request authorization to go to bid on street overlay in Cedar.
Council, you see a list on the back of your packet there. You want to click on that?
Oh, yes.
We are going to add a street that I did get with Stephen Jones on, and that was 23rd Street in Place, and it didn't make the list, and I forgot to get with Stephen to get that on there, but we talked about it verbally, we just didn't get on the list, but otherwise than that, what we're going to do, we're going to get bids, and we'll go as far as we can. as we did last year on slurry, on those areas, slurry and overlays, 2-inch overlay, and we anticipate around $7,400 a block, and about $1,800 a block for slurry seals. So we'll just take the bids and see as far as we can go. We've got $200,000 budgeted, and we'll take that as far as we can get it, and we'll do it again some more next year.
The subject summary says the street department will crack seal the streets that are not on the attached list of overlay and slurry seal street recommendations. If that's gonna be in addition, that would be in addition to the.
Yeah, we crack seal all year long.
Okay.
Yep. And we'll also, as you know, we'll do Gary Boulevard panels with the ODOT agreement, so we'll be doing more of that here. You'll see it spring, it warms up a little bit, so we have some more of that, a $50,000 grant or agreement with ODOT.
All right, and these are just streets that need repairs, the worst.
Yeah, kind of going up from beginning to end is kind of in priorities there. And I appreciate Monty and Stephen getting around and really seeing areas in all wards. So we haven't, we've targeted any just one ward. We really tried to prioritize from the worst down, but there's some in every ward. So
When was the last time we did this?
we do it every year.
Oh, really?
Well, this looks good.
Consider a motion to request authorization.
I mean, we go authorize bid on street overlay and seal.
Second.
Councilman Huglen,
Yes.
Councilman Marcy,
Yes.
Councilman Martinez,
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. Council reports. All right, comments from council? Time to vote. Moving on, city manager's report, Mr. Hewitt.
Council, I'd like to give you a little update on Blizzard 2013 and what that effect was to us. Number one, it was quite an event, and which was good in moisture, but it did create some issues. We did get water back on sometime around between 7:30 and 8 Tuesday night. We were out about 32 hours of water with Foss's issues, and I'll let you know, and Foss is working on additional storage as well as backup generation. That's part of their study and their redundancy plan they're working on. So we felt we had about 700,000 gallons remaining in our tower. And remind you, the reason we had the boil order because we dropped below 25 PSI, and that's required by DEQ. Strong recommendation to put a boil order, and when it comes back up, then we do testing and after 24 hours or 48 hours, which depending on the situation, which we did until we got back up to above 25. We did the testing, got it tested, everything was fine. We never had chlorine issues. Our chlorine was good even at the low pressure, but it is recommended due to the low flow that we do that. We did that, and we were in conversations with DEQ to keep them up to speed on what's going on, and we got good feedback from there. And that is again a reminder of our secondary need of a water source, which we know we need and we're working on. Facilities took a beating. We realized we have obviously Acme in some places we had not realized in the administration area. We have some leaks in Acme. The Pro Shop has a number of leaks. Frisco Center, we believe that window sill leak. We're going to different as the window or the roof. And I was informed today the airport has leaks. We have contacted a roofer, and he is evaluating all those areas to give us an estimate, and we'll get all those areas fixed as best we can and move forward on that. We had some issues with the Acme Nature Trail. The pipe for drainage that was done a few years ago for that design wasn't large enough, so our staff has ripped that out and put a new pipe, larger 10-inch pipe in there to make that, and we've got dirt packed in there. We'll let that settle, and then we'll have a surplus come back and overlay that again. So we're evaluating roads, and as you know, roads take a beating with all these kind of things, so we're evaluating that. We are having great internal staff evaluations on how this went down, our communication to the public. I felt we did a real good job, but we always want to do better, and we're going to continue that. And we're going to continue to have those talks in-house and do what we can to make sure that we're keeping people involved and understanding where the issues are. Although the boil order didn't affect everyone, but in a sense, maybe it did affect everyone because so people knew what was going on and to conserve water. We did a good job trying to work with our large users and let them know that we're having issues. We really appreciate folks like a Bar S who move some things back a few hours to accommodate this issue. So it is what it is, but we dealt with it, and we got through Blizzard 2013. We hope we don't have another one, but we did like the moisture. Clinton Lake is seeing the moisture. It is up a few inches, and Turkey Creek is running, and both the small ponds are filling up. So this rain this weekend, the Don need to predict that rain now.
This weekend, we're going to get
That's
some more.
what I need to hear. You're about 1,000, so I'll take you on that. So that'll help these lakes and continue helping Clinton Lake. So
On my farm, I'm talking water, so we're.
that's good. That's what we needed. So and so that's basically the evaluation of it. And I'll answer any questions you have on the blizzard. I want to let you also know on some of the things additional to the blizzard. Chapman Road, I've got appraisals on the easement and right-of-ways. We're now moving forward. I've got meetings with folks scheduled, and we're going to get those back to you for approval, and I've got the pricing now, so we want to get that wrapped up so we can get it back to ODOT so we can get this thing bid here this spring. So we're moving on that. I mentioned to you that we'll bring back the Robinson Addition lot price recommendations and try to begin that. I was also informed this week that on the Economic Development City Chamber Committee, Advisory Committee, the Chamber has chosen Pat McComas, who's part of their incoming president, and then Jason Smith will be the at-large member for the Chamber, and work with myself and Jason and Seth. We'll schedule some meetings here pretty quick to begin the conversations about economic development in our future, so we look forward to that. And last, I'd ask you to stick around after we adjourn to get a photograph for our website and folks, and that, unless you have any questions, that's all I have tonight.
All right.
I think the staff, you and the staff should be commended for all of the work during this water crisis. And I'll see if I can have police chief and fire chief and all the city people, they'll usually do a good job.
We appreciate it. And we have guys on 24-hour rotations with snow, and this is what we do. I mean, we try to work that out. I mean, everybody was, guys did a great job. All our staff was sticking around, trying to answer questions and planning for the worst, but we got through it, and we appreciate your support. And we're learning from it, and hopefully, we won't have to deal with too many more blizzards, but we did appreciate the moisture. It's good.
All right. Audience participation. Seeing none, consider a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Clinton City Council.
Second.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Huglen?
Yes.
Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Marcy?
Yes.
And Mayor?
Yes.
I think we stand